Welcome back to the Political Pulse 2.0. Today we're diving into the history of affirmative action and how it's been twisted far from its original purpose. Back in 1965, President Lyndon B. Johnson stood at Howard University and delivered a powerful speech. He stated clearly that the goal of affirmative action was to bridge the gap between African Americans and the rest of society after centuries of slavery, Jim Crow, and systemic racism. Johnson knew that just ending segregation wasn't enough. He said, "You do not take a person who's been hobbled by chains and liberate him, bring him up to the starting line of a race, and then say, 'You are free to compete with all the others,' and still justly believe that you have been completely fair." Affirmative action was supposed to help those descendants of slavery get a fair chance. But somewhere along the way, affirmative action was hijacked. Today, the largest beneficiaries of affirmative action are not African Americans, but white women. According to studies, white women have become the biggest recipients of the program, which was originally intended to address racial injustice. What was meant to uplift the descendants of slaves is now benefiting people who were never subject to Jim Crow laws or the legacy of slavery. Now, fast forward to today. In June 2023, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of Students for Fair Admissions, a group that sued Harvard, claiming affirmative action was unfairly discriminating against Asian students in the admissions process. This ruling effectively ended affirmative action in its current form. And you know what? I agree with this decision. Affirmative action, in its modern iteration, no longer serves its original purpose. It's not just unfair to African Americans who no longer benefit from it, but it's also unfair to heterosexual white men who are overlooked despite being part of disadvantaged groups. The SFFA argued that Asian students were being held to higher standards and penalized in the admissions process to make room for other minority groups. After winning their case, the SFFA didn't stop there. Just last month, on September 17th, they sent letters to Yale, Harvard, and Duke accusing these institutions of non-compliance with the Supreme Court's ruling. Their president, Edward Blum, pointed to a significant drop in Asian student enrollment at these schools. For instance, Asian enrollment at Duke dropped from 35% to 29%, while African American enrollment remained unchanged. Blum says this isn't possible under a truly race-neutral system and put these schools on notice. But here's what's perplexing. Why is SFFA laser-focused on affirmative action instead of legacy admissions? Legacy admissions, where children of alumni get preference in the admissions process, benefit wealthier, predominantly white students. At some schools, legacy admissions make up over 40% of the student body. Why isn't SFFA targeting that? Legacy admissions maintain privilege for the already advantaged, yet no one seems to be taking issue with it. Is it just easier to target racial diversity programs rather than entrenched, inherited privilege? So here's the question. Who's really benefiting from the dismantling of affirmative action? And why aren't we talking about legacy admissions with the same intensity? It's time we rethink the purpose of affirmative action, and who should truly benefit from policies that aim to level the playing field. Let's not be distracted by attacks on one form of inequality while another, even larger one, goes unchallenged. What do you think? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the policies shaping our society right here on the Political Pulse 2.0.